ARS, the famous Japanese grading company known for its beautiful slabs. Welcome to this 3-part mini-series all about ARS. In part 1, we'll go over a 20-card regular submission I sent out and got back recently. In part 2, I will cover a PSA to ARS reholder submission. So we sent PSA graded cards to ARS to get graded with ARS. Was a bit of an experiment I did with Shug Nasty. We covered it in a couple live streams. If you haven't seen those, check them out. But I'll go over my 10 cards in detail in part 2 of this mini-series. And then in the third part of the little ARS mini-series, I will give you my conclusions. I've made a long list of things I like, things I don't like about ARS, and I'll cover everything there. Today in part 1, again, the regular 20 card return. I'll give you the basic information about ARS, like the most important things you need to know. Also, I made an ARS video like a couple years ago where I just kind of covered their slab a little bit, but I didn't know much about ARS. Again, this is the first time actually grading with them. So yeah, I have a lot to say. But let's get started with this part 1, the 20 card ARS submission. Let's go to the card cam. Here are the 20 slabs back from ARS. I have them in 2 different piles. There's actually a reason for that. We've got a smaller pile of cards that I sent in just for fun, knowing they wouldn't grade too well. Some of these I just wanted slabbed in ARS holders. Others I sent in because I wanted to see how they grade certain type of damage. And then this pile, the bigger pile right here, these were the actual 10 and 10 plus contenders. So we will start with this pile right here first. Let's move it to the side a bit. We're starting with the CD promo Charizard. Real quick, by the way, if you're curious. So this submission I sent to ARS in January for their standard submission at the time. Last week on April 17th was the next time, the most recent time they had a regular submission open. So over 3 months later, in fact, it was about 3.5 months between regular submission openings. And this one last Friday, they filled all their slots in 4 minutes. Insane to think. Just unreal demand right now for ARS. It's just wild, crazy stuff. I didn't even try. I couldn't be bothered. It's like I'm not even gonna try. But yeah, there you go. This is one thing about ARS. They have limited submission windows, and if they do it every 3 months, you can submit like 4 times a year, and you can only submit 20 cards per person. So that's very, very limited. It's just crazy stuff. But yeah. This one, regular submission, which was 3,300 yen per card. And 2 to 3 month turnaround time. In my case, it took 2.5 months. So here we are. There we go. CD promo Charizard. This is actually the one from my countryside card shopping videos. So if you haven't seen those 2 videos, check it out. The actual video itself and then the pickups video where I go through everything I purchased. This card is from there. It's in there. You will see how much it cost me. This is a heavily played damage card, so I knew this wouldn't grade well. You can probably already see the condition right now. So this one got the, as expected, ARS 1. There it is. Okay, this card is beat up, but just one I felt like would look pretty cool in an ARS slab. It's very presentable this way because of the beautiful slab. By the way, just FYI, the label is super reflective. It's the lighting setup I've got going to make sure the cards look nice, that the holo pops. It's just very reflective. So it's a little bit hard to see the actual label. I have to kind of hold it sideways. But in person, it's very easy to see in person. No problem at all. So just an FYI. But yeah, that was the first one, the ARS 1. Next up, also from the countryside card shopping video, we've got the base set Charizard. Very cool. Nice swirl in the top right corner. There you go. There's the label. This one got the ARS 3, so the back looks much nicer in this card, but it's still overall in pretty rough shape. Got the 3 after all. Same story here though. I got a really good deal on it in the countryside card shopping trip, and I just felt like this card deserves a beautiful slab. Even in this condition, it looks incredible, very presentable, and because the grade is on the back, you're not really bothered by it, right? It doesn't stare you in the face like other grading companies. Great. So I love that about the ARS. The 3. I'm happy with that. Honestly, yeah, it's a low grade, but it's actually pretty good, all things considered, especially considering how much the card cost. Then we have the Mewtwo EX Full Art from Psycho Drive First Edition. Yeah, black and white full art texture. Something else, man. Gorgeous card. Very clean front. It's got a bit of whitening on the back. This one got the ARS 8. This is also from a kind of card shopping pickups type of video. It's a video where I talk about the state of Japanese Pokemon cards and kind of what I'm still buying, where I see value. It's one of the more recent videos. Feel free to check it out. I think this card cost me about 8,000 to 9,000 yen, something like that. Yeah, it's got a little bit of whitening on the back. I think 8 is completely fair. It's got no major, scratches, no dents, no creases, nothing like that. So I'm pretty happy with an 8. Like, that's a pretty good grade. Yeah, very nice. And of course, a very beautiful card. Then from the same video is the Plasma Gale Lugia Unlimited here. Same story here. Black and white full art texture is just absolutely goated. Incredible card. This one got the ARS 6. So for this one, it's definitely rougher than the Mewtwo. You can see it has more whitening all around, and then it has this really rough left edge right there where the whitening scratches into the actual border of the card. I think 6 is a fair grade. I was kind of hoping for a lucky 7 maybe on this one, because the value difference between a 7 and a 6 on this card is actually pretty significant. If you look at some of the most recent sales, I'm still kind of undecided if I want to keep it. I'm leaning more towards keeping it, but 6 is deserved. But both of these cards, absolutely beautiful fronts. They look immaculate from the front. It's just insane. And the ARS slab just makes them pop that much more. ARS slab in general, it's such nice quality, very clear plastic. I like the weight. There's some weight to these. They feel very, kind of high class, more of a luxury type of product. They are super thick. They're like little bricks. But yeah, next up we've got the No Rarity Blastoise. I picked this one up, I think a couple years ago, roughly a couple years ago, maybe 1.5 years ago. I probably overpaid at the time a little bit. I bought it in a card store. It's in very rough condition. I could have found one in this condition cheaper on Medicari, but I saw this card. I was in the mood for something cool, and the swirl is kind of what sold it for me. I'm a big swirl guy. I love swirls. Swirls just upgrade the cards to me, in my opinion. And to have a No Rarity Blastoise with a swirl is just super, super cool, regardless of the condition. This one got the ARS 2. So this is just a rough card. The back actually looks pretty nice. Like, if you look at it like this, there's not all that much whitening. There's some deeper scratches, some, maybe some indents up there that are kind of, I'm not sure if it's an indent or like a very deep scratch, but the main issue with this card is, I would say, the front. It's got a lot of silvering. It's got a lot of scratches on the front, and it's a little bit hard to see in the video, but it has a lot of specks right here where the kind of the color flaked off and the hollow is popping through. So 2, I think, is deserved. But for this, it was just never about the grade for this. I just wanted the OG, the true first edition Blastoise in this beautiful slab. This is history. This is history right here. So cool. So cool. This is definitely a keeper. And then the next of the expected low grades is the Rockets Scizor EX Unlimited from Rocket Gang Strikes Back. This is a card I've had since 2016. This would have come out of a Mandarake Mystery Cube. I bought a bunch of those back then. They would cost $3-4, and you'd get 10, 20 hollows in there. And typically they were not in great condition, which this card is an example of. But same story here. I just wanted this card in a beautiful slab. I don't plan on selling this card. I've had it since 2016. I intend to keep it. It's got a really nice swirl right there. And this card especially, I picked this one. I have more cards from back in the day, from those days that, are kind of cool cards. But this one I picked because this is just a card I felt like would look insane, especially this one in the ARS slab. And I think I kind of had a good inkling here. Like, this card looks so cool in this holder. This one also got the ARS 6. So again, the grade really didn't matter for me here. It's got less whitening than the Lugia that got a 6, but it does have, I don't know if you can see it down here, it's got a bit of a crease. It's also visible on the front. So this is, this was sent in for fun, but also for a bit of science to test their grading scale. But there you go. So these were the 6 lower grades. Now let's get to the actual clean cards, the 10 contenders. How did I do? Did I do well? Did I get screwed? Let's find out. All right, we'll start with the Ho-Oh. Now, I'm starting with the Ho-Oh World Championship 2010 promo right here. I'm starting with this one because although it is in the 10 contender pile, I was always a bit 50-50 on this card. I got this straight out of the sealed promo pack. So, no scratches, no whitening, nothing like that. But I was 50-50 on it because it does have, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this on camera, depending on the angle of the lighting, it's a little bit difficult, but there's a good old fat print line going through the card in this top third, all the way across horizontal line. And I just didn't know how ARS would grade print lines like that, right? And so I was always 50-50 on it. I still considered it in a 10 contender pile, although realistically speaking, I was like, I don't think it's going to get a 10. And, well, it got the 9. So as predicted, which is interesting. Everything else about this card is mega clean. If you didn't know, ARS does not grade centering. And their reasoning basically is that centering is not part of the condition. It's a factory thing, right? Well, print lines are also a factory thing, right? This isn't a scratch. This is literally a line where two hollow sheets meet, basically, right? So it's a factory thing, but then ARS grades this factory thing, but not the other one, which is centering. I don't know. It's something that doesn't make all that much sense to me, but it is what it is, right? But this is something I'll reserve for my third video of this mini-series where I talk about everything I like and dislike. I'll go more in-depth there, but there you go. Ho got the 9. All right, let's speed it up a bit. We've got a Neo Revelation Kingdra 6 World. This is one of the old back hollows that were also in a recent pickups video where I had a few old back hollows, and I mentioned there in that video, I looked at them in the store, they all look very clean, but I said I'll have to look at them one more time to make sure they're all super clean before I send them to ARS. And not all of those made the cut. A couple I rejected because I saw something questionable. This is a card where I could not find anything wrong. I looked at this card for a long time under different lighting, doing my typical pre-grading, and it felt like it looked absolutely perfect. Well, it got the ARS 9. There you go. Super clean card. I have no clue what's wrong with it. Maybe you can spot something in the video. I don't know, but there's a little bit of dust on the slab. Sorry about that. But yeah, clean card, clean 9, very clean 9. Next up, Web Series Slowpoke. This is another really cool card. I just recently picked up the original artwork of this. The original artwork is an old back promo that came with a cloth playmat. I think it's like the 6th or 7th promo ever. Kind of crazy to think. This is the Web Series reprint here in the first edition. I think this is also the artwork, like on a card like this, it's Japanese exclusive, but I think it's the artwork that is in the Evolution box on even English cards. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this, again, I felt like was a super, super clean card. And it also got the ARS 9. So, same story here. I have no idea why it got the 9 and didn't get the 10. This one as well, especially, a lot of these e-reader cards will often have a little bit of kind of front corner chipping where there's a little bit of whitening just in the front corners, which can be straight from the pack. This one doesn't have that. This is a mega clean card. The back is a little OC, which is kind of why I was like, maybe I'll send it to ARS instead of PSA, right? That's one of the reasons. ARS doesn't grade centering, but yeah, they gave it the 9. And look, with these, of course, it's possible that there's just something that I missed. That's always a possibility. But these are some clean cards. Okay, next up we have the Dark Ampharos from Neo Destiny. Incredible swirl on this copy right here. Beautiful card. This is from the same video where I showed that Kingdra as well. This is one of those old backs that did make the ARS cut. That looked perfect to me. And well, this one got the ARS 10. So there we go. We got the 10 on this one, which is really cool. Like getting an old back 10, I'll take. That is fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Kagamaru Himeno doing the work here. Yeah, just Dark Ampharos is such a sick card. And the hollow on this one pops so nicely. Incredible. Very happy with an old school 10. Let's jump a few years into the future. We got some modern right here. We got the 2023 Yokohama Worlds Pikachu EX Full Art. Very nice texture on this card. I think this is a really, really nice card. Very cool. This is one that I would have sent to PSA normally. Centering is fine. It's not perfect, but it's totally fine. But I felt like for the PC, I wanted it in this, very, very beautiful slab. And this one got the ARS 10. So there you go. Not too bad. But we're kind of, same story with these, same story with the 9s. I don't know why it didn't get the 10 plus. ARS must have found something. Then we have the Dragonite GX Hyper Rare from Miracle Twins. Miracle Twins, man, one of those boxes that's going absolutely crazy right now. This is one of the Hyper Rares from that set. Similar here, this card is actually very well centered for a GX and would have been totally fine sending to PSA. I wanted it in an ARS slab. I think rainbow rares look really nice in ARS slab. I'm repeating myself. Everything looks nice in ARS slab, but some cards just do it for me. Rainbow rares have really grown on me, especially the Sun and Moon ones. Their texture is phenomenal. They just look so nice. And this is a cool one. I think this one is still quite affordable. Like some of the Sun and Moon rainbow rares are pretty up there in price. Like to have seen the Battle Rainbow Charizard GX is crazy expensive in a 10. But I think this is one of those that's still relatively affordable, especially considering what the box goes for these days. So I don't know if you like these, if you've always been interested in these, I think maybe a good time to pick them up potentially. I don't think they're getting much cheaper. Well, this one got the 10 as well, so very cool. Another 10 to add to the 10 pile. Clean card. Then we have a little Eevee holo with a nice swirl from the Shaman Level X deck. So this came right out of the sealed Shaman Level X deck. I opened one a couple years ago. They used to be very cheap. They're not cheap anymore. Everything sealed that's older is pretty crazy right now. But this is one of those. The holo on this is outstanding. Great looking card. This one also got the 10. You might be wondering right now, Ibex, did you get some 10 pluses? Yes, I got some. They're coming later. So don't worry. But next up, we've got a Secret of the Lakes Pikachu first edition. I don't even remember when I got this card, where I got it. I definitely never opened the Secret of the Lakes pack. This just ended up in my collection at some point. And I looked at it. It looked super clean, old school Pikachu, even regular, commons from sets are pretty valuable these days and are definitely worth grading if they're clean. And well, this one got the 10. I'll take it. Yeah, clean card, super clean card. This is an example of a card that I sent specifically to ARS because of the centering. You can obviously see it. This would not have gotten the PSA 10. It's really top heavy. It's also a little left heavy and maybe even a little bit tilted, but ARS gave it a 10 because there is no damage on this card, which I think is nice. I like that about it. But I just wanted to mention this briefly, right? So you might think that because ARS doesn't grade centering that people only send OC cards to ARS and everything else goes to PSA. And I think there's some people who probably do that. But actually, if you go online and you look kind of what people grade with ARS, a lot of people grade well-centered cards with ARS too. And, I think my submission here is a good example where it's a bit of both. And so don't think that just because ARS doesn't grade centering that people only send OC cards to ARS. That's definitely not the case. There's definitely people who appreciate ARS for what it is and are totally willing to perfectly send their cards there, which is very cool, obviously. All right, next up we have 2019 Ancient Mew. This one as well could have been sent to PSA. It's a little bit heavier on one side. Not perfectly centered, but totally within the PSA parameters. Same story again, though. Just looks sick in this slab. Very cool card. This is obviously the 2019 reprint. I've owned and graded several of these over the years. And this one got the 10. Regular 10 again. We're striking out on the 10 pluses so far. Man, like I said, I've owned and graded several of these over the years. And all I can say is this card is as clean as they come. I couldn't see anything wrong with it. Sometimes these come with print lines. I've gotten these before that were, perfectly mint, but had good old print lines on the back or the front. This one, it does not have those print lines. Still didn't get the 10 plus. And this is an interesting case study right here, this card. Because 10 is obviously a good grade. ARS seems pretty strict with their 10s. Some of those 9s we saw earlier, again, to me, they looked perfectly fine. So 10 is definitely a good grade. Like you can never be sad about a 10. But for this card in particular, I think last time I checked the pop report a couple days ago, if I remember correctly, there was more 10 pluses than 10s. I think it was like 75 10s and then like 86 10 pluses, something like that. Relatively high pop too for ARS, I should say. And, these were given to people in the magazine. A lot of people in Japan never even took them out of the magazine. Back in the day, you could buy them online. People would say, I never took it out. You could usually trust people, and they would always be super clean. And they were cheap. They used to be 8,000 to 10,000 yen all day long a couple of years ago. And so I guess this is just a card that's relatively easy to grade with ARS. And because there's more pluses, 10 pluses than regular 10s, even though a 10 is a good grade, you can't really complain about a 10. Suddenly the 10 doesn't feel as exciting when you know there's more 10 pluses, right? I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. And one of the things I'm sort of a bit indifferent on, or not indifferent, not a huge fan of with ARS is the 10 plus. But again, more on that in part 3 of this mini-series. Still though, sick card. This is definitely a keeper. Again, I've owned and sold several of these over the years. This is, I think, the last one I have, so I got to keep one. Then we have a Garchomp C Level X from the deck. Love these cards. The star foiling that goes across the whole card, combined with the Cosmos, the regular Cosmos Holo. You get a little bit of a swirl here and the border, and it just looks so sick. Such a cool card, especially in this slab. Beautiful stuff. It got the 10. So another regular ARS 10. And another very clean card. Then we get the big brother of the whole that got the 9, the Lugia from the very same sealed promo pack. This one does not have a print line. And nice card, nice holo on this Lugia. It got the regular 10. So cool, definitely deserves it again. Same story, no clue why it's not a 10 plus. But we have some 10 pluses, everyone. We're finally getting to the 10 pluses. I'm very happy to have gotten a few. This is number 1. We've got the Dialga from the 11th movie promo file. Very, very sick swirl on this copy right here. This is a good example of a card that looks especially good in ARS because metal typing, just something about metal typing in the ARS slab just works. I guess it's the metal etched engraved label that does it. It does it justice. I'm not sure. Very cool though. So this is an ARS 10 plus. Very clean card, straight from the sealed, promo file. I say these were so cheap. They were so cheap a few years ago. I don't know what they go for these days, but I'm sure they're not as cheap anymore. This is sick though. This is very cool. Got a 10 plus. Then next up, from the very same, maybe it's from a different one, but also from the 11th movie promo file, we've got a Pikachu holo with the 10 plus. Amazing stuff. I think this is a pretty spicy one. A Japanese exclusive Pikachu in a 10 plus is pretty awesome. All these, by the way, all these 11th movie promos are all Japanese exclusives. So that's really, really, really neat. And the Pikachu, of course, is crazy stuff these days in this market. Japanese exclusive Pika, that's old. It's really good stuff. Out of curiosity, so I'm not sure if I'm going to sell this. I'm probably open to offers on this one, but out of curiosity, I checked Mercari for some recent sales. These as well, relatively easy to grade. They come pretty clean out of these promo files. Sometimes they can come with whitening, so be careful. Centering is not guaranteed. Obviously, centering with ARS doesn't matter. These are pretty well centered, I would say. But if they come out of the promo file without whitening, they tend to be pretty clean. And so for these as well, I think there's as many 10 pluses as 10. So you're not guaranteed a 10 plus, but they're not too difficult, like not as difficult as some of the other cards we've seen today. But still, very, very cool. And again, out of curiosity, I checked recent sales. And this is one of the good things about the 10 plus, I guess, if you want to sell, is that 10 pluses in Japan on Mercari typically sell for more than the PSA 10. So for this card, I saw a 10 plus sale that was twice as high as the most recent PSA 10 sale. And then I saw another 10 plus sale that was maybe 50% higher than PSA 10. They all happened within the same couple of days. So a bit hard to comp these, but definitely, in my opinion, worth more than the PSA 10. Because the 10 plus from ARS, you've got a clean card right there. Yeah. This is a pretty big deal. It's very cool. But to me, the coolest card, last but not least, is Dark Ampharos Numero Dos, number 2, with the 10 plus. I think this is pretty crazy stuff. We've got a nice half swirl right there behind Ampharos. This is really, really cool to me. Again, I love this artwork. I already talked about it earlier, but to get a vintage 10 plus is kind of crazy. They exist, right? This isn't Pop 1. I think there's 3 of these. But it's crazy to me. If you think about like Neo Destiny packs, Neo Destiny in Japanese is outrageous right now. It has always been very expensive. But I checked, for this video, I checked specifically. PDG in Akiba, has Neo Destiny packs on their buy list for 370,000 yen. I think that is 2,300 and something US dollars for a pack of Neo Destiny. That is what they'll pay you. That's not even what they're going to sell it for. Crazy stuff. And to have a holo, obviously they all come with a holo, but still, to have a holo from a set that crazy in a 10 plus, to me is insane. That is so cool. So this as well with the other Ampharos, with the King Jut, this was one of the old backs that I picked up in Tokyo end of last year, early this year, that did make the cut. I think I rejected an Aerodactyl on the Dark Typhlosion, if I recall. But yeah. But here's the crazy thing. Okay, so this is the thing. All the cards we just looked at. The 9s, except the Ho-Oh, look the same as the 10s, look the same as the 10 pluses. To me, all these cards, out except the Ho-Oh, all I would say the true 10 contenders, to me, they all look perfect. Do people miss things here and there? Of course. Do I miss things here and there? Obviously. But out of this, which is still, a small sample size, I cannot tell you why some cards get a 10 plus and others don't. And this is a bit of a, not the biggest fan. But still, I think I did pretty well. If we exclude the Ho-Oh of the true 10 contenders, I had, I think, in about an 85% gem rate. So 10 or higher. Which I think is pretty good, considering these are mostly older cards. And we only got 3 10 pluses. Would have been nice to get a few more, obviously, but 3 is better than 0. I'll take 3. I'm very happy with that. If you are curious, Ibex, did you get the certificates? Because that's another big thing about ARS are the certificates. Yes, I did. So initially, I only got 1. When I sent this submission, I only applied for 1 certificate. And it was for the no rarity Blastoise. Again, this is just a keeper to me. And I felt like for the history, it deserves the certificate. There it is. You can see the grade, the QR code. I got the silver label, the silver holo, because it's below a 10 grade. You can see all the information here. In Japanese, it says Shohan. This is the official title for no rarity, or like first edition, I guess. Very cool. By the way, this card in this condition, it's not even that expensive. It's cheaper than a lot of modern cards. So, just FYI, like this is still an obtainable card, but I love this specific copy. I love the history on it with all the damage. I love the swirl. And like I said, it's definitely a keeper, which is why I got the certificate. Sorry, a bit of a camera accident there. Where was I? When I got them back, I was like, you know what? I'll get certificates for the 10 pluses and the 10s, because I see the certificates, or I look at them as a form of, I guess, advertising, you can say. For me personally, I don't really need them for something as neat as this Blastoise. It's kind of cool, but I don't need the certificates. You can always order them later if you are the original owner. If you're not the original owner or the person who graded the card, I think you need to send them their slab to prove you own it, so they issue a certificate. So I could have always just ordered these whenever, but I figured, let's just get them now. It took about 2 or 3 days from the time I ordered them until they arrived. 1 certificate is 1,000 yen, and I look at it as a form of advertising. If I sell some of these will be for sale, but even the ones I keep, I just want to have them just in case. If you think about it, if you look at a listing online or 2 listings online, same card, same grade, same price, one has a certificate, one does not, well, you're buying the one with the certificate, even if you don't need it, just because it's kind of neat, right? And so I figured, might as well get these. 1,000 yen a piece, that's like $6 US, right? It's a form of advertising, and it just makes sense. So here they are. We've got the Pikachu 10 plus. We've got this is the Garchomp C Level X 10, and here on these, you can probably see the difference from the lighting right here. The regular 10s have kind of just a gold holo. And then the 10 pluses, they get actual gold leaf. So that's really neat in my opinion. Then we have, this is the Secret of the Lakes Pika. We've got the World's Pika EX right here. We've got the Lugia World Championship promo 2010. Then we've got the Ancient Mew 10. We have the Dragonite GX. We got the Eevee. We've got the Dialga 10 plus. And then we get the Dark Ampharos 10 and the Dark Ampharos 10 plus. So I got these just in case, and I think it makes sense. The tough part now is, what do I keep? So these are definite keepers. These are probably, these I'm willing to let go of. For these two, I'm kind of undecided, leaning more towards keeping them just because I think they look so nice from the front. Then the Lugia is a keeper because I need one. The Garchomp is going to be for sale. The Mew is a keeper. The Pikachu, I'm open to offers. The Eevee, willing to let go. Dragonite is probably a keeper. This is definitely a keeper. Dark Ampharos is, I think, this is tough. Obviously, the 10 plus is pretty spicy, but for the personal collection, I'm fine with the 10. So maybe for now, I'll keep the 10. Maybe I'll put the 10 plus into for sale pile. This is a keeper for sure. Might even be regraded one day with a different company. I think the Kingdra is fine to have for sale. The Ho-Oh is okay too. I think the Alga I'm willing to let go. And then the Pika, I'll put it in the maybe pile. So these are going to be, I guess, for sale. Maybe these are the keepers, at least as of right now. If you're curious how I'm kind of looking at this right now. If you're interested in any of these, shoot me a message on Instagram or Discord. As long as you can buy through Medicali Japan, I would only sell these through Medicali Japan. It's just the most convenient for me. But yeah, if you're interested, let me know. You saw which cards have certificates. We could work out something if you're interested. But yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for part 2 where I will... Oh, one thing I wanted to say. I prepared this. I almost forgot. If you are curious about these holders for the certificates. So I got these in Daiso, the 100 yen store in Japan. They're these right here, A6 size. They're the hard card case. You want the ones that say Fuji Ari, which means they have an edge like this. And there's 2 inside, so 110 yen for 2. And they're just a really, really nice fit for the ARS certificate, as you can see. Very neat. Protect these certificates right there. So there you go, Daiso. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for part 2 where I will go over the PSA to ARS reholder return. My 10 cards. There's some, dare I say, very spicy stuff in there. Quite shocking results on some of those cards. So that's going to be up next. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Thank you very much for that. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about ARS, about this return. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.